Hello, everyone. My name is Julia Bono Miller.
Hey guys, I'm Sahil.
So what?
Just Sahil.
Okay.
Like share.
So I am also a teacher, just like Miss Cirencione, but my students call me Miss Julia or teacher, and I will explain why in a moment. I currently teach English virtually in China to students who speak Chinese and don't know much English. And I also teach public speaking to students who are either from China or whose parents are from China here in Toronto, Ontario. So I now live in Canada. I have been learning French since high school. Not like your teacher, because I believe she has been learning Spanish since high school, but we met learning French in college together. And then I studied in Canada with a French immersion program. And now I kind of just speak it here and there. There's a lot more French in Canada than there is in the United States. I also studied Chinese for 2.5 years at Kent State University. And I thought I completely forgot it until my students, they teach me so much every single day. Uh, I know Miss Cirencione because we did French classes together. I already said that one. But I also started a language and culture club at Kent State University, which she was a prominent member of. And we every week we would learn a new language, a new culture. We would play games from there, do crafts about it. We would learn parts of the culture and parts of the language, and it was just fun. It's fun to learn something new. And this is why I am so happy that they are doing this language awareness event. Sahil here is from India, so he didn't
Yeah.
know English from birth.
No, I
What do you
did
want to
not.
share?
I learned English in my mid-teens, just watching American shows and anime.
Yeah, that's crazy to me because he does speak English pretty well, besides the accent.
Also, I just found out that I don't know the difference between V's and W's, and
Oh, yeah.
I also stayed
Say
the
vowels for them. They probably.
vowels.
Very good. Excellent. So, a common misconception, as you can see with language learning, is that you need to be perfect. You need to say the grammar just right. You need to say the words just right, or else they won't understand you. And although there is cases where they definitely don't understand you, that is definitely not the case. You can say
Also,
things wrong.
also some people bully you.
Yeah. That especially with French and with young Chinese kids, they will bully you. But as they get older, they're much nicer about it. Yeah,
Are they?
the parents of my kids are like, 你说中文说得非常好. And I'm like, your children did not lie to me. My students are so quick to tell me how I pronounce things wrong, but they are also the first ones to want to teach me new words. So yesterday, actually, I learned capybala. What do you think capybala means?
Something like Baba Yaga,
It's
Boogeyman.
capybara, like the animal from Australia, capybara.
I don't know.
They're the like most zen animal on the planet. Capybara.
I've
I'll
not.
show you an image later. All right, so you don't need to know be perfect. You don't need to know every word, and adults will not make fun of you. Kids might. I'm not gonna lie to you
They
there.
will. They definitely will.
Yeah, and roommates too.
Yeah.
Why it's important. We can have friends across the globe. I mean, I'm sure some of you have family out of state or even out of city. And when you are going to visit that city, even if it's not to visit them, you have a place to stay. You have somebody to show you the area. It's the same thing across the globe. Like, I know if I go to India, I'm good in Delhi. I
Definitely.
have a sister in Ankara, Turkey, that I've visited only once, but I met her in Portugal. And I now know, I never thought I would know any Turkish words. But again, you don't need to be perfect. You don't need to know everything, but you do need to learn how to communicate to be able to understand these other cultures and to understand these other people. For example, my roommate here in Ottawa, well, I'm in Toronto right now, but here in Canada, up in Ottawa, she was from Germany and she went back, and I went to go visit her over the summer. And she speaks English. So I was speaking English with her, but her family only speaks French or German, and I don't know German. So I was stuck with the French I know. and I had gotten so much better just by the end of the week. Like I remember he made me boiled eggs and I didn't know the word boiled in French. Uh
Mm.
so in French, um I'm going to say this in French. J'ai demandé la question, or j'ai posé la question, qu'est-ce que le verbe pour quand l'eau a obtenu son degré, which means like what is the verb for when water obtains 100 degrees? Because I don't know reaches either. And he was like, bouillir. And that's just a hard word to say in French. But we don't have to know every word perfectly to get our ideas across. I remember one time in a French class with, I almost said your first name, Miss Serencione. Serencione, I was talking about a spider web on the door, but I didn't know spider web. So I was asking about la maison d'araignée, which means the spider's house.
Mm.
I now know it's la toile because I was asking about other words. And my French teacher now, she is from Cote d'Ivoire and she does not know English. So
Hmm.
I teach her some English, she teaches me some French. But again, also with language learning, there's universal languages, such as music. Think about how much K-pop Demon Hunters blew up this year, and just K-pop in general. It's not always in English. It's not even the songs from K-pop Demon Hunters have all English lyrics.
That is true.
Yeah. Food. So I heard there's a big Palestinian population near your school, and I'm sure some of you have had some good Palestinian food, either from your friends or just from nearby restaurants. And I'm sure you have given the argument of it's only good here because this is where the authentic stuff is. Well, imagine now if you knew how to communicate with people from areas that you want authentic food from, you can just go there and
Yeah.
talk to them. And body language. So I teach public speaking, and I always tell my kids how 80% of our language is nonverbal. And this was especially true when I was lost in Brazil this summer. He didn't know where this was going. I managed to find myself 2 hours away in the middle of nowhere in Brazil, away from the main city, in a city that did not speak any English, and I did not know any Portuguese because I didn't think I would need to know much Portuguese, but I was able to communicate that I needed my phone charged and I needed water, even though I could only say please and thank you. Oh, and I could say credit please as well because I learned that one in the airport. Like crutched por favor. So body language, if at the very least, we should learn how to communicate with our hands and with our face. And I will always push that as a public speaking teacher. Don't be ashamed of your culture either. So you might go somewhere and you're like, we don't really have a culture. I'm just American. I'm just Canadian. But you being different than the places you go is a culture. And don't be afraid to share it. And you can't. Don't be afraid to share it. Like I have indoctrinated him to, what would you say, like hot dogs, not beef because you don't eat beef.
Yeah.
But I've also learned to really like chickpeas because of his cooking. You also don't have to make it too difficult. The common complaint I hear about learning a language, I don't even know English. Yeah, well, apparently me neither until I started teaching it this year. There is so much that he knows about English that I don't because he had to learn it in school. But I didn't have to learn it in school. I just learned it. So recently on Fiverr, I was commissioned to make 150 grammar aptitude questions for an Australian English test, English comprehension test. I was testing them out on my dad, who was clearly the one who taught me English in the house, and he was getting some wrong, but he was not because he understood, like, he was taught that grammar. So think about how you might actually be smarter in French or Spanish than some French or Spanish people. Well, maybe not the French. They're very proud of their language, but the Spanish people.
Yeah.
Don't expect perfection. That was like the House of Spider. That's what I wrote down. Even English is different, and we communicate differently depending on who we're talking with. For example, he speaks British English, so he calls it a lift, and coriander, and
Yeah.
a brinjal. That's just Indian. Guess what a brinjal is?
It's
Aubergine,
yeah,
eggplant.
yeah.
It's an
I
eggplant.
didn't know aubergine
Here
at
in
all.
Canada, though, this is not a hat.
It's a toque.
It's a toque. They call it a toque. The first time I heard toque, I had no idea what they're talking about. But if I call my dad, I'm not going to say, make sure you bring a toque when you come to visit. I'm going to say, make sure you bring a hat. Because I'm talking to you tailor your language based on who you're talking to, even if it's in English. Here are some other fun Canadian words if you're interested. Duotang, chicken burger. I hate that one. Pencil crayon, sweater. Everything's a sweater. Lineup, get a double double at Timmy's. Poutine, it's not poutine, it's poutine. Obviously, the metric system. So everywhere else in the world uses Celsius and meters. And I've gotten way better since I've started living in Canada. But when I call my family back at home, I'm using, oh, it's like 65 degrees out. Well, right now it's like 25. And those back and forth between kilometers per hour and miles per hour and Fahrenheit and Celsius, it blows people away. Like when I was in Europe for 2 months, it was blowing people away. They're like, you're like bilingual on the phone.
Also, I would like to pitch in that it's not just geographical regions that can differ your language skills. Like see between different age groups. If you ask any 6 or 7 year old what
Dude,
6, 7
six,
is,
seven, they're gonna do
they
that
would
too.
know,
This
but you
poor
would
girl.
not.
This poor girl. I'm sorry, Miss Sorrencione. I did not tell him to do that. But yes, we can even talk differently with different age groups. Like you're not saying like riz up to your grandma. Like you're just not.
If you are, you need to grow up.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Respect their language. All right, new experiences and perspectives. You get new experiences and perspectives. For example, I did an escape room in France thinking I was totally ready to do something in France, but I was like, okay, the clues will be a little bit hard. The escape room was more like an interactive horror haunted house. It was more like an interactive haunted house. And our guide didn't know English, and we didn't know, well, I knew some French, he knew some English. So we were doing our best with our broken words, but we were able to communicate and escape, but it took us an extra 20 minutes. But he was very nice to let us. Even like development studies. So I studied development here in Canada. And so it's essentially foreign aid. And foreign aid with the Anglophone classes were different than the foreign aid Francophone classes because a lot of the students in my Francophone classes were from Africa, which is typically where foreign aid is given. And so we were able to take different perspectives and realize what these countries actually need and what rules are kind of unnecessary. So even then, just understanding different perspectives is very nice. There's also the risks. You can ask for help if you can speak another language, such as when I was lost in Brazil. Again, body language, universal. Like if you're crying, holding your phone up with a charger and the phone's not turning on, they kind of know what that means. That's your translator. But learning a language is different, is important, even if it's talking to somebody older than you, somebody from a different English-speaking country, or just to essentially gain an appreciation for food, music, culture, and just the ability to communicate around the world.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts you want to share? Oh, wait, I forgot one important Canadian word, and this is what we'll end on. Okay. I'm sorry, Miss Sorrencione. You can only use this in French class. Maybe the Spanish class if they show this too. Tabernacle. Tabernacle.
Asti.
Asti. Sacrifice. Okay. So important. You have to put the emphasis on the knack. Tabernacle. Okay. Make sure you say that over and over and over again. Okay, bye.
Bye.